Anyways, you ready to go? Ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Bum 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 bum. Okay.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You said it. Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
Hi, I'm Rena.
And today we're doing the What We Backed in December. In December of 2021, which is long gone. Forever to be in the dust. Never remembered. I don't think anything notable happened in 2021. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump out into this. This is December 2021, the games we backed. There are 19 Kickstarters and GameFound campaigns this week.
That's it?
That's it. I know. After November, where we had like 17 or whatever it is, this is a lot less. And in fact, I actually thought it would be fewer because December was a dead month as far as Kickstarters and crowdfunding goes. What I forgot is it was a dead month for like the last 3 weeks, but a lot of campaigns actually ended in December, even though they're active in November for a big part. And this list in general, this list is always games and campaigns that ended in December 2021, except for the time that I'll probably get a date wrong and it'll be January 1st, but it counts as December, but it's all good. It's all fine. These are those 19 games. How many think I backed?
12.
12. No. I backed 9, I think. I think 9.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, no, I actually had a decent amount of self-control this month. A decent amount of holding back from a bunch of games that for either pricing reasons, well, I'm interested, but I might pick it up later, or just trying to remain sane and in control. There are 2 or 3 that I think I made, there are 2 or 3 games that I shouldn't have gotten. I should have had stronger self-control, but sometimes the heart wants what the heart wants. And when it's not you, which is most of the time, then it's occasionally board games. But anyways, going out into these, and in general, if you are interested in just the top 3, usually at the end of these videos, what I do is if I can only back 3 of these games, which 3 would they be? Usually, by the way, those are where I start to make hard choices and start moving out of, oh dear lord. Oh, you know what? I can keep going, actually.
Did you forget to record
I forgot to hit the record on the screen, but we haven't been sharing the screen.
We haven't started anything.
We haven't started the screen, so give me a second. We're going to go ahead. You saw me shift directly out of regular mode over there while I try to get the screen up and running, the recording. Okay, so we're gonna stick with this because we can do this because I haven't started sharing the screen yet. Okay, great. Okay, perfect. I'm all good. We're just gonna go ahead and do 1 or 2 things. You're just gonna bear with us right here. Bookmarks, nope. Show bookmarks bar. We don't want there. And then we center this, and we are good to go. Good thing we caught that instead of finishing a 45-minute long video. Isn't that a good thing? Isn't that a good thing, sweetie? It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So going back to this, basically, yeah, if you want to see just the 3 that I really had to make hard choices around, and if I can only get 3, that will be at the end of the video. Timestamps down below. Thank you for bearing with us through these technical difficulties, because the only thing worse than that would have been refilming this and trying to be enthusiastic through the same thing, knowing everything that happened.
So happy you have such high...
This
is on my memory.
I've done it before. It's not fun. Let's go ahead and jump into this. This is taking way too long. That's par for the course. Let's go ahead and start off with these 9 for 19. Starting off, number 1, the first on the list is Borderlands. Borderlands, Mr. Torque's Arena of Badassery. This is a game where you're going to be rolling dice as a variety of heroes. Borderlands is a video game, by the way. It's one I played through with David.
Yeah,
David and I went through the whole video game Borderlands 3 together. Then he kept going because he liked it a lot more than I did. I liked it enough to go through the full thing with him, but not enough to keep going with DLC and all these other things, whatever it was, or expansions. I don't even know what they had at that point. But Borderlands is a game where you're rolling dice. You're going to have characters. You're going to be rolling dice against hordes of invading miniatures. You're going to be trying to level up your weapons. So it's basically an arena. So you constantly have waves of enemies approaching as you go through multiple rounds of announcers and contests and more things and hurdles to go through. Ultimately, you're rolling dice attacking bad guys and trying to do so more effectively, but Borderlands centers very heavily around weapons. There's just tons of weapons. There's tons of ways to upgrade your weapons that have this weapon that does that, and that weapon that shoots that, and this weapon that does that, and then you can get a whole bunch more weapons that do different things, and then there's in-between kind of runs where you can have more weapons. And then one thing I talked to them about when I was at PAX, because I ran into PAX, I said my biggest concern is the single-shot game. Like, how would that be interesting because you don't have the weapon leveling up? And they said they're looking into this, like, kind of having vending machines on the map. Vending machines is where you buy weapons, in case you're wondering that, because otherwise that makes no sense. You buy weapons from vending machines, because that's where you usually buy weapons. Vending machines. Welcome to America. Anyways, so this actually takes place on like an alien planet or something like that. But anyways, based on America. Anyways, I know it. No, Borderlands takes place in the US. What am I talking about? It's not an alien planet. I have no clue what I'm saying. Forget anything I ever said at all in this entire video. This is Borderlands.
You did not back it.
I backed it. This, though, is one of those I was referring to when I said I probably should have had self-control. So I had a chance to play Borderlands. I was going back and forth because I like the IP. I like the concept of the game. The game looked fun. But I was going back and forth, and I was leaning towards not backing it. But at PAX, I had a chance to play around it too. Now, granted, it's not the same as playing a full game, but it was fun. It was a fun game. It was a fun experience. It had dice rolling. It had powers and abilities. It had tactical choice and planning. It felt Zombicide-ish. Now, where I don't know what's going to happen with Borderlands is, will it hold up in my collection? Because I have Zombicide, and I have Besieged, and I have Massive Darkness coming. And I have, what's that new one that we like? What's the one that we really like and I really like more, but it's called You Like It?
What?
The one with the Skeletor person. Master of the Universe. Master of the Universe. I have Master of the Universe. I have lots of games coming that have rolling dice and doing fun things, and I can't keep them all, so we'll see what happens.
Lots of games that you roll dice?
No, just a few. Just a few. Just a few. Oh, and Project Elite. I forgot Project Elite. Anyways, that's Borderlands. We are 1 out of 9. Moving on to the next one. The next one, which is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim the Adventure Game.
You on a video game kick?
Oh, hi. Wait, you know Skyrim's a video game?
Yeah?
How do you know that?
I don't know.
This is one of those things where, like, I mean, many people who know video games would know Skyrim's a video game, but, like, the fact that you
Oh, you know how I know?
How do you know?
What's her name? Person with violin.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
There we go. So Lindsay Sterling.
Yes.
Lindsay Sterling, that makes sense. Because if you're not in the video game world, and I don't talk about video games that much past games that I've played extensively, like Far Cry or Overwatch, for the most part, my biggest association with video games was before I got married. Post-marriage, I played a bunch. I mean, Guild Wars, there's probably 5 or 10 games I've talked about extensively. Versus Skyrim's not one of those games. So I'm just like, she's not in the video game world. I don't talk about Skyrim. How does she know? The answer is thank you, Lindsay Sterling. Your music's amazing. Anyways, going into the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim the Adventure Game. That's quite a name. It's quite a name.
I think you backed it.
We're not even going into the game?
I mean, we can.
Up to you. Do you want to vote now or later?
I'll vote now.
Yes!
Ha!
But it is another one where I feel self-control is a question and a conversation. Elder Scrolls Skyrim the Adventure Game is a game in which this is actually almost the reverse of Borderlands. Between the two of them, you have a pretty good game. No, you roll dice. But in Borderlands, it's like kind of lacking any context outside of just combat. Combat is the game. If you like the combat, you like the game. If you don't like the combat, there is no game. Skyrim's almost the opposite for me. To me, the weakest part about Skyrim, and then maybe it'll be changed, I don't know, it's still prototype, things are subject to change and all that, although this one was closer to production, so maybe not. Combat, while it was okay, was to me the weakest part of playing through Skyrim. This is one where I had the chance to play through the entire TTS demo. They had TTS availability. I dived into it, played the whole thing, enjoyed myself, but it's one where I enjoyed to me the way I phrased it is, I like Skyrim because of just one more turn. Every turn you're like, okay, I can just take one more turn, I do a thing, then the board does a thing, oh, there's a new event, oh, let me just go deal with that event, okay, great, oh, one more turn, okay, I'm just gonna move here, oh, okay, I'm just gonna level up my mount, oh, I want some armor, okay, fine, I'll get into a combat. Every single move was another simple, accessible dive into some sense of story, of adventure, as events were popping up around the world. It's a cooperative game, cooperative experience. You can go through it with others. I was playing it solo, primarily. I dove into it temporarily two-player for a bit, just to get a feeling for it, but most of my gameplay, diving into it fully, was playing solo. And I finished the whole thing, and I enjoyed it, and I wanted more. The combat was a little on the weaker side. It's mostly the result of the choices you've made in terms of how you level up and build your character, and it's a lot of rolling dice for combat, and not a lot of mitigation around rolling dice. So didn't love the combat, was okay with the combat, but it's the rest of the game around it that I enjoyed. It's one where my self-control aspect, for me, Borderlands is fighting against other games in the same genre, that's why it falls into the self-control. Skyrim is falling under the category of not necessarily a question of other games in the same genre, it's a campaign game, and the one more turn is very compelling, but will I set it up on a dedicated table and go through that? Will it have a good save system that I could dive back into? That's where I don't know. So very much on the yes side, getting it, interested, loved my experience with it, not certain if it will ultimately get tabled. Some campaign games I get and I like, and then they move on, so we shall see.
That's true.
Next up, Hegemony, Lead Your Class to Victory. Hegemony Lead Your Class to Victory is a game of asymmetric factions in an economic warfare kind of game. It's a game where you're basically taking on different factions, the upper class, the middle class, the lower class, and then the state, and you're trying to vie for control in different ways. Every player plays different, but around the same engine. You have economies you're going to be building, you have factories and structures and businesses you're building up. As the upper class, you own the factories. As the middle class, you can own and work in them. And as the lower class, you can just work in them. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the state's distributing funds, and each faction has their own goal of how they earn points, of how they drive the engine, as they try to work together to figure do you have to, oh no.
I can't read that far.
Hegemony offers clever card play, tactical planning, strong asymmetry, and more. It's one of those games where I never stop thinking I'm constantly trying to stay one step ahead of my opponents.
Could go either way.
It could go either way. Wait, why could it go either way? Haven't I been very glowingly positive so far?
Yes.
So why could it go either way?
Anything.
It doesn't mean anything. Did I back
I think you backed it.
I'm going to give this one to you with a caveat. So this is one of those weird times where, in general, sometimes I get games from publishers, and I don't actually know if they're sending me the game or not. I think they are going to be sending me a copy of the game, but I probably would not have backed it otherwise. And it's not because the game isn't good. The game is excellent. And I was very clear about this in my review, too. It's not like the first time you're finding this out. I think Hegemony is one of the better asymmetric games I've played. It is elegant, it's tactical, the card play is amazing. I really, really enjoyed the game. But the flip side is I have to teach people the game, and it's strongly asymmetric, and I have to teach every person their own game. This is a game I want to play. This is not a game I want to teach. And so it's a game that, like, if they don't send it to me, that's fine. If they do send it to me, I'm happy they do, because I want to own it. But I couldn't justify paying for it from a stance of, I think this is a game that I really, really like and would love to play at, if I go to a convention and sit-down tables and people know the game, I'd love to play it. It was a very good game. I have no interest in I have no interest in teaching the game. I have a lot of interest in playing the game. And so that puts it in this weird barrier. And it's also not a short game either. So if I have a choice between diving into this or diving into a game where I can teach one game, if I teach Tawantinsuyu, or if I teach Coimbra, if I teach Fujian Magna, I have to teach one game. When I teach Hegemony, I have to teach 4 different games. And so the barrier to entry is where this one lays. So I'll give it to you just from a sense of you can have points, but it wasn't counted in my 9 out of 19 games. So yeah, it's a great game. Very solid game. If you back this, well, I hope you can get past the teaching part, but it is a great game. Moving on.
To number 4.
Number 4 is loading. Number 4 is Heroes of the Shire. No, it's nothing to do with Lord of the Rings. Nothing to do with Lord of the Rings. Just
I can tell from the picture.
Yeah, I hear Heroes of the Shire and I automatically think Frodo. Like, there's a game about Frodo or something's happening here. There's no Frodo. No. This is Heroes of the Shire, a game with a lot of heroes and a lot of other stuff around those heroes. Lots of powers and abilities, lots of stuff going on in the game. I believe it had, what did it have? It had arena mode and scenario mode. So you can be fighting head to head, you can be going through different scenarios together, so that cooperative aspect. And it's just tons of abilities and tons of stuff around the game. And if it sounds like I don't know that much more, it's because I don't remember that much more.
I don't think you backed it.
I don't think I backed it. It's always bad when I don't know enough about the game.
You don't remember if you backed it or not?
No, I didn't back it. But it's always bad when I don't remember enough about the game to sound compelling. Heroes of the Shire is a game I looked into to cover for the Kickstarter, just to cover for my 2-back and not to back series, and everything I put in my mind since then has disappeared. And that's part of the problem as to why I didn't back it in the first place. The artwork looked compelling. The powers and abilities part looked compelling. But I didn't see an actual gameplay hook as to why this game. This is one of those games that
That's
the way...
why when you were going through it, I also, nothing you were saying was
Well, that's because I didn't have the hook. I didn't have a reason why I should pay attention to this game compared to others. It looked very good, but I have a lot of games that look good. I need something more. I need a gameplay mechanic. As much as I look at miniatures or art and am interested from there, I still need a gameplay mechanic to actually pull me into the experience. I didn't see one here. It is 100% possible I would sit down and play this game and be like, this is the best game ever. Very possible. But, well, not best game ever, but I'd like it. But without knowing that, without diving into it, and without seeing a hook, I chose to have self-control and pass on Heroes of the Shire.
I'm very proud of you.
Next up, we have Harakiri Blades of Honor. 42 stretch goals, last hours by Synergic Games. This is a game of, well, 2 phases, really. There's 2 phases in Harakiri. There's a phase of adventuring around the board, trying to explore things, and taking different tests as you go through, trying to find the map over here. There's a map.
This with?
I was playing this, yes.
With who?
With who? With solo. I played this on solo. I didn't actually play this with anyone.
Cool.
But yeah, why? Wait, who am I going to play with? Why?
If you were getting it.
Why?
It's creepy.
It was very creepy. Oh, no. I actually had this game. I played through the prototype. I played through a solo, but it's not one that, I mean, I wasn't thinking about.
You didn't back it.
I didn't back it. It's too hard to, I'm letting things slip too easily today. Harakiri Blades of Honor. So I enjoyed this game, but it comes with 2 phases. There's the phase of adventuring around the board, and there's the phase of the combat and going through the actual combat tactics of executing the abilities of your characters, trying to position yourself, executing all that. And I found the adventuring around the board, and I covered this all in my review, no surprises here. And the adventuring phase around the board I found to be not rewarding enough. I found it to be lots of random skill tests and just too much like trying to follow a story but not really having control of the story, and then a lot of rules but not a lot of payoff on those rules. That's the way I felt around it. Now keep in mind, limited experience, limited prototype, so that obviously factors can change, but I wasn't compelled enough by the exploration. The combat I was actually very compelled by, with one main caveat. It felt very similar, to me at least, it felt very similar to Wild Ascent in the type of combat it gave. And I already have Wild Ascent. So for me, Harakiri Blades of Honor, while I enjoyed my playthrough of the combat part of the game and was okay with the exploration part of the game, I didn't feel the need for it because it wasn't filling a spot in my collection. The miniatures were amazing, but it was a game that the best part of it felt similar to a game that I already love, and then you've combined that with the fact that an all-in is like $300, so it's just I couldn't justify it for me. I think if you back it, you'll probably enjoy many parts of it, possibly both, I don't know for sure. I know that many people had the prototype, some agreed with me that the exploration phase felt a little bit not as, and I always forget, it might be adventuring versus exploration. The two phases were called adventure phase and exploration phase. Which one's which? Exactly. So, whatever one it was, but overall, I know some people enjoyed it, some people did not. I know they're making tweaks to it to hopefully make it more compelling. Again, very limited experience prototype, but I wasn't compelled enough because the best part of it felt similar to a game I already have. Next up, we have Megapulse. We're already up to M, which means all the, and in case you didn't know, these are in alphabetical order.
This one.
I backed this one. Megapulse for Orion Games. I mean, you saw me playing this one.
I did.
I guess, well, that's not enough, though, because you see me playing other games. Why did you say yes so fast?
I don't remember.
Instinct?
Yeah. I think it's a racing game. You don't have a lot of racing games.
Sadly, I actually have a bunch coming.
They're not here yet.
I know, but it's a problem, because in the past, Megapulse is going to join.
We just got new shelves. Look how empty they are.
Oh, those are not going to be empty for long.
They're so empty.
Those are not going to be empty long. Yeah. Megapulse joins 3 other games that I've played. Maybe 2 other games. Maybe 2 others. 2 other games I've played, and I think the third one is coming soon. It's the Restoration Road Restoration Road from Restoration Games, Thunder Road. That's why I'm blanking this. Thunder Road Restoration Games. But this is that's not in play, so let's ignore that. Megapulse joins 2 other games, Time to Turbo Cars and Death Road's All-Stars, and being the third of a series of games that in 2022, I covered, enjoyed, and backed. And they all felt different.
You backed in 2021.
2021, in 2021, yeah, that year. 2021, so I covered and backed all those games because I really like them all, and they all feel different, and if I had to pick one right now, I don't know which one stays, although I think, no, I'm not gonna say, we'll save it for coverage later.
The smallest box.
That's not how I work. So there's one of them that I think is more likely to stay. The others might stay. It's a question of ultimately the genre of racing game with racing and attacking each other is a very specific genre, and I don't know if I have room for all 3, even though they felt different. So we'll see. Time will tell. I do have a feeling of what my actual ranking of them is, and I already know that Jesse and I disagree. Jesse from Cracklope, I know we disagree in that ranking because we've played all 3 of those games together. And so I know we disagree on the ranking. We'll see what happens. Maybe he'll keep one, I'll keep one, and the other one we'll see what happens. We'll figure it out. Ultimately, time will tell. But Megapulse, I really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed all of them, so that's not really going to help you. But I enjoyed Megapulse in the sense of it was fast playing, played in roughly, it depends on the game, but it plays roughly 25 minutes per lap, so a full game of 2 laps, which we typically played for most of our games. I think we had one 3-lap game, but most of our games were in the sub 1 hour range. And in that sub 1 hour, you're playing these cards from your hand, so you have a large sense of control of playing cards as you try to figure out whether you're racing ahead, whether you're pivoting, whether you're slamming on the brakes, whether you're shooting missiles, dropping bombs. There's fun things to do on the tracks as you explode others. And
it says it's Mario Kart, so that makes sense.
It says it's inspired by Wipeout, F-Zero, and Mario Kart. And yeah, it felt Mario Kart-ish in the implementation. Yeah.
Like Mario Kart.
But yeah, I backed it. I'm curious how instinctively, like you must pick up something in the background as I talk.
Not always. Sometimes I do very badly.
No, but sometimes you're wrong. But usually when you're quick, it's usually because either you say something like, "Oh yeah, it's a come on game, congratulations, you backed it," or it's something like, "Yes, you backed it," and there's nothing really to back it up, but you have that enough background noise of what I like and don't like. Anyways, moving on to Mindbug.
I don't know.
Well, that was quick. I thought you were going to answer. I was like, I have not talked about this one at all. Mindbug by Richard Garfield, the designer of Bunny Kingdom. Yes. Bunny Kingdom, designer of Bunny Kingdom. Also, by the way, designer of Magic the Gathering. Probably more famous for that. Not probably more famous for that one, but she likes Magic. She likes Bunny Kingdom, and not Magic the Gathering. She doesn't dislike Magic the Gathering. She doesn't really play Magic the Gathering. Mindbug is a 2-player game, kind of more akin to Magic the Gathering than Bunny Kingdom, in which you are basically playing as these like creatures and powers and abilities, and just going head to head in a 2-player closed system of cards. It's not collectible or anything like that. You're just getting the cards. Part of what makes it interesting, though, part of the twist in the game is the Mindbug. You see, each player has 2 Mindbugs. I'm pretty sure it's 2. I haven't played the game, so sue me if I'm wrong. But basically, each player has 2 Mindbugs, and the Mindbugs are basically times where you can control the other player's move. Meaning, you might do a really cool move against me, and I'm like, nope, I'm going to do that against you instead. You basically control and reflect it, and players know that's in play. So it's a constant game of teasing out, when are you doing the big move? Are you trying to do the big move now? Should I save my Mindbug for the actual big move? When is the right time to turn it back on you and control what's going on? Combine that with powers and abilities and pretty art, and overall, that's Mindbug.
There's a spider.
There's a spider. Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah. But did I back it? Who's to say?
I think you
Who's
did
to
because
say?
it's a 2-player game,
Did
and you
I
like to
back
collect
it?
2-player games that have
I
friends.
didn't back it.
You didn't back
Didn't
it?
back it. I am very interested in Mindbug.
I'm so proud of you.
But, no, don't be so proud of me. Yeah, I'll get it eventually. Basically, like I said at the beginning, I kind of teased and hinted at the beginning that more than 9 of these 19 games am I interested in. I inherently am interested in all of them. These are the 19 games I was interested in and then made decisions around it. But rather, the specific question on the table is, did I get it on Kickstarter, or will I get it potentially later?
Later.
I'm very interested in Mindbug. I just didn't see
cute.
a compelling reason to get it on Kickstarter. I like how it says things
I
on
was
the
going to
page.
say, like, Earthlings.
It's like you're scrolling through a promising Kickstarter campaign, and suddenly a loud voice is booming in your head. Listen to my orders, Earthlings! Back this game! And I was like, I'll buy it, but I will not back it. Anyways, moving on to the Nano 9 games, Railway, City Planner, and Empire. This is a series of 3 solo games, plus they kind of combined a 4th one into it, I think using the components of the others, so technically it's 4 if you get all 3. But, basically, forget that for a second. It's 3 solo and 2-player games that you can play, each focusing on 9 cards, 9 dice, and 9 cubes to build the game. So it's kind of like Sprawlopolis, where Sprawlopolis is... Not Sprawlopolis. Button Shy games are the series of games, like the Skulls of Select that you like, that have 18 cards as the core engine, and then they have expansions. This, though,
Really
is not having 18 cards, it's having 9 cards, 9 dice, and 9 cubes, giving you different little solo puzzles. Now, they're taking it from some of the... Yes, I backed it. Why? Why were you so sure?
It has trains.
It has trains? What in my collection makes you think I back games that have trains? What even has trains in my collection?
Railroad Ink.
Fine. I knew there were answers, I just wasn't sure if she'd come up with them. Okay. And Railroad Ink, the most abstracted version of trains ever. Technically, these are 2, so I guess that qualifies.
That's why.
Yeah, these...
Abstract train games.
So,
we like abstract train games.
So I'm compelled by solo puzzles. I've been doing this a
I
lot
know
with
you
Buck and
are.
Shy as well, where I get a lot of the smaller games, and the cost is usually fairly reasonable. It's not cheap. I mean, these are like $20 a game, but like it is fairly reasonable in the big scheme of things. And then if I like them, they're totally worth it. If I don't, and sometimes they're middling. I mean, I have some Buck and Shy games that are okay, not amazingly compelling, but okay. And so these are some games that I was very intrigued by. I was intrigued by some more than others, but then the price point's better if you get all 3. Plus, you get that 4th game. All those things like that.
Look how pretty.
Honestly, I didn't back this one initially. I backed it, and then I was like, shelf control time, Alex, and I canceled my pledge. And then because of something later on in this video, I was like, oh, forget it. I'll just cave and back it.
Later?
Yes. Yes. Mina's like, note saved. Moving on.
Will have been forgotten.
Moving on to 9 Minute Kingdom.
You said later on in this video.
I did. Technically, later on does qualify as now. What's your point? 9 Minute Kingdom. 9 Minutes Kingdom. Does that bother you or not?
It does a little bit.
Should it be 9 Minute Kingdom or 9 Minutes Kingdom? Which one should it be?
You know what? We're about to teach grammar where the subject and the
You tell me.
things are
You tell me you're a
supposed to-
teacher. 9 Minutes Kingdom or not?
We're about to go over it.
Sounds wrong to me. It should be 9 Minute Kingdom. I hope they fix it, because I think it's wrong. I could be mistaken. I know it's 8 Minute Empire, but that's another game. There's a game called 8 Minute Empire. Maybe that one's wrong.
No, but it's...
Go ahead.
The S. It could be 9 Minute Kingdoms or 9 Minutes Kingdom. I don't know.
You see, it sounds wrong. It sounds wrong. I'm telling you it sounds wrong. Anyway. Oh, you're right. It's 8 Minute Empires. 8 Minute Empire. 9 Minutes Kingdom. It shouldn't be 9 Minutes Kingdom. I mean, technically, these are not really grammatically correct words to begin with, so I don't know why I'm getting all hung up on this.
I don't either.
9, because it's fun.
It really should be 9 Minute Kingdom.
Yeah. Ultimately, we'll never find out if I backed it. We'll just spend the next 20 minutes talking about this.
Well, what's the 9?
Also, wait, no. The name on the page is 9 Minute Kingdom. The name on the graphic is 9 Minutes Kingdom. They might have changed it. I know there were some people who agreed with me on this in the comments. Anyways, we can go ahead into it. 9 Minutes Kingdom. 9 Minute
Kingdom.
One of the two. 9 Minute Kingdom is a game. Basically, this is a game of trying to create little patterns to fit different goals. You're going to have... What?
We backed it.
Whoa, that was quick.
So cute.
What in the world? What made you think I backed it?
It has double-sided cards.
Wow, you must think I'm weak. You do think I'm weak. 9 Minute Kingdom, I did back it, because first of all, price point was really cheap. Second of all, I think this one is actually a fun little game, which you have these goals you're going for, and then you have these cards. You have 9 cards. You're going to be playing out into a little 3x3 grid. You're trying to build your little kingdom to fit certain criteria as you lay down cards, and you're drafting. You're drafting too.
Ooh, I like it.
So it's basically just variable goals. It has drafting. It has building stuff in a way to hit those variable goals, and then that's. I mean, I like that kind of stuff.
I know.
Yeah, I do. And it has double-sided cards, which I don't know when I like. How many games I like that has double-sided cards? She's not going to be able to. She did it with Railroad Ink, but she won't do it again.
I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, describe it to me. Describe it to me. You like it as double-sided cards. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Something else.
There's double-sided cards. There's grass. There's, first of all, Circle the Wagons has double-sided cards. That's one.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Circle Wagons has single-sided cards.
Yes.
Oh, it's double-sided cards. That's what you mean. Okay, I understand what you mean now. I mean, Sprawlopolis you're thinking of.
I don't remember.
Sprawlopolis is the same one in the series.
There's another one.
It was technically, it qualifies as double-sided cards.
Double-sided
Fine,
cards
you win.
two
You win.
sides, like that.
Top and bottom, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Skulls, whatever that one
Skulls
is.
that sound like
that
this.
one too.
Okay, we're just changing the criteria, but fine. You win anyway. It doesn't really matter. That is correct. 9 Minutes Kingdom was backed. Next up on the list, we have Pathfinder Arena.
How many did I get right so far? I mean, not did I get right. How many have
let's
you
go
backed
through
so
it.
far?
Let's go through it. So we had what's it called
that one you backed.
Borderlands. We have Skyrim.
You did not back.
Okay.
You did back.
No, I did. We did.
You
did.
did.
Did not back Hegemony. Did not back Heroes of the Shire. Did not back Harakiri. Did back Megapulse. That's 3. Did not back Mindbug.
Then you backed the next
Did
two.
back this one and did back this one.
Right.
Keeping track? That's 5 back so far. 5. We have 4 left. 4 left. And there's a whole lot of tabs still.
Have 4 games left.
You have 4 games left. But anyways, we are currently on Pathfinder Arena with 4 games left. Pathfinder Arena is a game of kind of, you ever played
Is this
Labyrinth?
Arena the contest?
No, it's not even the contest, but that's a fair question because
confusing.
I've answered either yes right off the bat. Pathfinder Arena is a game. You ever played Labyrinth where you like push a tile in and then other tiles fall out the other side and you're trying to find like candles?
Know that.
Yeah, it has that kind of element to it a bit. Totally different game, but it has that
dragon.
Labyrinth. What?
Also, it's a dragon.
Yeah, the other one didn't have a dragon. I remember playing that in school. No dragon. But this is Pathfinder, which is a totally different card system applied to more of an arena combat game with a kind of a labyrinth you're going for as you try to fight the big bad. It's competitive, not cooperative. It's just you're going through the labyrinth trying to deal with stuff and defeat baddies and all that. But this is their dive into a totally different game system from the Pathfinder system. Yeah. Why do you think not?
You were again very
Lack of detail. I don't look as heavily into the games I'm not backing. I'm sorry. I look into them as a surface level, but I can't be like a full deep dive. Sometimes I can, because sometimes I did look into it and I made decisions around it. But other times I can't. So yeah, Pathfinder Arena. It looked intriguing. I was intrigued, but I wasn't sold enough, and the price point was expensive. And I was like, this is another game that will go on the shelf and won't be played because I have a bunch of these that are compelling on the surface, but not compelling past the deep dive. And so I'm interested in it. Still, the jury's out as far as later and down the road, but that was that. Moving on to the Realm of Shadows, a trio of solo games. So, Realm of Shadows, trio solo games, is 3 different solo games by Gabe Barrett. One of them, I can't remember all the differences. We have Hand Destiny, which plays in your hand, similar to Palm Island, which you may have seen me play in the past. But you basically hold them in your hand. And the way you slide the cards and pivot them, so you kind of have a solo game in your hand. Great for, like, when you're driving your car by yourself and just want to, like, pay attention to the cards in your hand instead of the road. No, I'm joking. No, don't do that. It's not a good idea. But great for when you're a passenger in a car or standing in line at an amusement park or anything like that. But that's going to be that. Then we have Forgotten Road, and then we have The Last Stronghold. 3 different game systems, all using the similar art style from Game Bread. I believe designed by the same person. I'm not actually certain. I think. Maybe. I could be wrong. This was reviewed well by One Stop Co-op Shop, covered by a few different channels. I did not cover this one. This is the Realm of Shadows. The Realm of...
I'm very torn. Because you love card-playing solo games.
I do, which means I clearly back this.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, because...
How many are left?
How many are left? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, including this one, of which I backed 4. Odds are in your favor to say
I
no.
know.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
I still think you backed it.
I did back it. And your clue is...
It's a card game that plays in your hand.
That there was one coming up later on this list that made me go back and back the Nano games. I was like, once I'm backing these 3 solo games, I'll reconsider my pledge on those other 3 solo games.
Oh,
the logic's terrible. Don't do stuff like this. Do not follow my advice at all in the slightest. I mean, follow my advice, not what I do. Do as I say, not as I do. It's not a good lesson. But this is the Realm of Nether Shadows and all that. Not Nether Shadows. It's the Realm of Shadows. 3 different games. I actually don't know as much about the individual games. I know they were reviewed well, and they're solo games, reviewed all from like One Stop Co-op Shop, and I'm intrigued. I am very intrigued by these games, and I wanted them, and they were fairly cheap, and so I went out and bought other games to make up for it, apparently, because I did that. This is not good.
I don't think your logic works there.
It doesn't work, sweetie. It doesn't work. Moving on to Resurgence. Resurgence from Half a Kingdom Games. This is a game by Stan Kodansky, who designed Endless Winter, who designed Rurik, who designed other games that you know, Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria. A bunch of other games and stuff like that. You like Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria, right? That's one where you roll dice, take them from the center, and you build up a thing, and you conquer little baddies and stuff. I mean, I'm just describing Valeria games in general. But either way, so this is Resurgence. This is a game where you're building out your worker placement as you play through the game. You have this board over here. You're placing your workers down to accomplish different goals as you try to survive in this semi-post-apocalyptic wasteland. You're trying to accomplish missions. So you need bread, you need food, you need supplies, you need medical, you need bullets. You're just trying to survive. You're building up your bunker along the way. But the core of the game is this hidden worker placement aspect where you have unique workers.
Is it a solo game?
It is not a solo game. I mean, you could play it solo.
Who are you playing this game with?
I played this game with, well, basically a whole bunch of people in the game. I played with Jesse, I played with Shire, I played with Kiva, I played with Ezzy, played with whoever. Yeah. 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 Exactly. Only 3 left, and there's like 8 games left. Chance of me backing this one is so small. Yeah.
You did not back it.
I did not. I did back it.
You did?
I did back it.
Oh well.
I backed this one. This one is delightful. I mean, why? Your clue should have been like how much it made the rounds. Honestly, your clue should have been Akiva and Ezzy.
I know.
Because here's the thing. Akiva and Ezzy are part of my game group, and I don't usually like to introduce games I'm middling on to my game group. Because my game group can play good games, and I don't want to introduce them to mediocre games when I cover them. I cover a lot of mediocre games. If I rate a game a 3, it was good. I'm not going to...
There's no punch-outs for Ruffy.
No punch-outs? Why do you say that? Oh, I mean, it might be punch-outs. They're just the wood tokens are upgraded. But yeah, in general, when I introduce a game to my game group, it means one of 2 things. Either I was desperate and I couldn't play it with other people and I needed to cover it and get it done in time, or it's because it was very good. And this was because it was very good.
That does not help me.
Because I just said that there's an exception? I know, but I'm saying it's more often that it was very good. Sometimes it's because I was desperate. It's not a guarantee. It's just usually. Resurgence is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Great game. It's a really great game. I've talked about this multiple times. In fact, Jesse and I, Crackle and I just did a series of games that we think might make our top 100, or in his case, his top 20. And Resurgence was on both our lists. Fantastic game. Moving on. Only 2 left we have? We have only 2 left? I think?
This one's on GameFound?
This is not on GameFound, no.
Why does it have a G?
Where's the G?
At the top.
The G is the next one over. This is the G.
It's from on GameFound.
This is the G.
Yeah.
This one. The
Yeah.
next one.
Yes.
Yeah, next one is Sammu-ramat Derrocar. Over on GameFound. Only 2 left from all of these. Assuming I counted right. What if I counted wrong? That'd be horrible. Sammu-ramat Derrocar. This is from Iron Game Design over on GameFound. This is 2 different games. One about Queen Sammu-ramat, who basically is all about utilizing her advisors. She's like going through this realm of the kingdom, facing different challenges, utilizing different events as you go.
Okay.
And then Derrocar is known as the 5 Presidents Week. It's a week in Argentina, I believe, that 5 presidents actually, in a single week, 5 presidents switched power. So it's a game simulating this like iconic moment in history as you try to wrestle and struggle for control. So 2 different games, both having a political theme to a degree. Very different games in what they're doing, just bundled together from Iron Game Design. This is over on GameFound. Did I back it?
No.
Did I back it? No, I didn't, but I wanted to. Sammu-ramat is a game that I was very interested in, mechanically speaking. The Derrocar one, whatever it is, I was interested thematically, not as quite as compelled mechanically. Not that I wasn't compelled mechanically.
The theme that you would like.
The theme is intriguing. It's a very unique theme.
You like the water game.
I am intrigued in both. I'm intrigued in getting both of these games, but once you're getting one of these, it just made no sense to get it on GameFound as opposed to waiting for retail. I plan on picking up one or both of these down the road, but for right now, I let them go by so that I could, have self-control, because that's the thing. Next up, we have another trio of games, the Snackbox minigame series,
so cute.
Collection 1. Yeah, it's a little Snackbox full of little adorable little games.
So cute, you totally backed it.
I told you to not back this one.
You did?
Nope, because
Really?
did you pay attention to the fact that not all of these are solo games? We got 2 to 3, 1 to 3, 2 to 3, and 1 to 4.
Yeah, but I like playing these kind of little games.
Well, then maybe I'll back it. Am I moving to the edge? There's 4 different solo games over here. For me, the trigger for
They
me is...
also just look pretty.
They do look pretty. They're very compelling. Listen, it wouldn't be on this list if I wasn't interested in it.
It sounds hilarious.
I debated it, because that's why it's here. If I didn't debate it,
cute it is.
the games, in general,
There's a
again, the
monkey
games
on it.
on these lists, if I didn't debate backing it, it's gone. It's not showing up here. This is not all the Kickstarters in December. This is the ones that I wanted to back, and it's a question.
Cute it is.
Am I moving to the end or not?
No.
Well, if you'll play, these are all play at 2 players, so I will play. If you're willing to commit to even 2 of these, I'll back the whole thing. We can go through them all. There's a skate park. There's chimichangas. There's
The
Koji.
Chimichanga one actually is
Look at the
really...
skate park. Look at the little skate park. Push your luck skate park game.
Ooh.
Yeah, just look at the little art. It's all adorable. It was compelling. My concern.
Okay.
Okay. Apparently, I'm moving this to the end. We got another one. Joining the
I
crew.
haven't backed one in a while.
You don't pick these that often. I would say like every other video there's one you pick. I will happily sit down and play these. I mean, the nice thing about these smaller games is that they're so easy to pull out, play. They're great for when you have a small slot, it's late at night and you're tired, you don't want to sit down for a longer game, and that happens a lot with us. Hence the yawn. Thank you for illustrating the point. I'm sure that wasn't real, it's just helping illustrate the point. We're not tired. We're totally fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Moving on to, we are on to the Spirit of Eden. I still have 2 left from all these rests, because that didn't count. That was you adding it. 2 left from all the remaining ones, which is like, I think 5. I think there's 2 left. Am I doing this right?
No, I think you have 1 left.
We'll see. I'll go through it. Well, either way. The Spirit of Eden by Alone Editions.
No, I think you have 1 left.
No, I didn't pack Sammu-ramat. The Resurgence was 3 out of a whole bunch. So I have 2 left now. So, back to the Spirit of Eden. The Spirit of Eden is another solo game by Alone Editions. This is one from someone who did The Road. He's famous for The Road. Look, it's a little solo game. It's all about what's called King Asmoth, who holds countless lands, and it's a large territory game where I'm forgetting what the game is about, which is not a good sign.
You did not back it. Once you have to read.
The Road is a
Sorry?
Yeah, I did not back it. The Road is a well-loved game, and I looked at this one
cute.
just enough to decide whether it was or wasn't for me.
It's not called The Road.
No, I'm saying The Road is this prior game, which is well-rated and well-loved. That's why I was interested in this one. But the Spirit of Eden, I couldn't see enough that pulled me in. And Way of the Samurai 2, by the way. Both those. Previously well-liked games. But the Spirit of Eden, I just didn't see enough about the game that pulled me in as to why I should be paying attention to it. Not to say it's not good. I wasn't intrigued enough after looking into it a bit. And so everything I remembered of the game is already gone. Interested, but didn't back it. Moving on. Starfighters, the rapid-fire, real-time dice placement game.
Oh, you love these things.
I do not love these things. What are you talking about?
You like
What real-time games have stayed in the collection?
Oh, I don't know. I don't keep.
I always like that.
And I hear. You know how it works. I come down. Oh, I like this game.
Yeah, real-time games I like. I'm interested in them, which is why it'll always show up in a list like this. But practically speaking, real-time games don't always stay. Most of them actually don't stay. Most of them are like, hey, that was fun. Let's play it twice and move on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But this is Starfighters. This is a head-to-head real-time game. It's not cooperative. We're not on the same team. We're against each other as we rapidly roll our dice and build up our spaceships and attack each other. And yeah, just that kind of thing. Real-time, rolling dice, attacking each other. I do not back it. Yeah.
The only thing you could say is
this is like, I've given like the key to everything. Now you know exactly what's going on. She's like never going to get them wrong again.
Watch her get the next one wrong.
Yeah, she'll get the next one wrong. Because again, this one actually, there's not that much more to know about this one. It happens to be. It's you're rolling dice, you're building a spaceship, you're trying to attack one another, you're trying to slowly evolve, both attack and assign energy to your various systems and like just defeat your opponent before they defeat you with asymmetric spaceships, a few different modules. This is from the Alley Cat Games, who has a few games. What's the game that I just played from them? Paper Dungeons for them, but I've played a bunch of the games. They do Dice Hospital, also from Snackbox as well. But anyways, yeah, I was intrigued by it. I am still...
real-time game that we have played.
Which one?
Dice Hospital.
Dice Hospital's not real-time.
It's not?
Nope. Nope. Oh, you're thinking of Rush MD.
Yes.
Yes, Rush MD. Not by Stan Konensky or Alley Cat Games. But anyways, I like the idea of Starfighters, but it fell into the category of a game that I think I'll play it twice and enjoy it and move on because most real-time games do not stay in my collection. I enjoy them. I'm compelled by them. Hard to justify spending the money on a game that I'll only keep twice and then just be turning around and reselling. Next up on the list, we have the 3 new Valeria Universe games.
Oh.
She's like, I have 2 left. This seems like a safe pick. She's like, do I use it or do I say tell me more? Which one? Which one?
I'm gonna go with you backed it.
I backed it. Of course I backed it. This is the Valeria Universe.
Rolling right.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. So we like the Valeria Universe games in general. Again, Stan Konensky, Shadows of Kingdoms, Valeria, lots of over the stands just showing up in all these games somehow or another. But the Valeria Universe games, we generally get them all. We keep some, we get rid of some. Okay, it's always been a weak spot for me. I still love Card Kingdoms. Margraves I really liked. Eventually moved on from just because it wasn't being played compared to other games in that weight class. We still have Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria. There's still a few of the older ones we're still trying. I still have some more coming. Maybe I have to double check which ones I back down to remember at this point. But Thrones, so we have 3 different games. Okay, first of all, we have Rome, right? Dice Kingdoms of Valeria, which is aiming to mimic most similarly the Card Kingdoms of Valeria, but with, roll knights and just dice and stuff and boards. I'll scroll that in a second. Then we have Siege of Valeria, which is a tower defense game. I've always enjoyed tower defense as a genre.
Oh, I don't do trick-taking games.
Then we have Thrones of Valeria, and Rena doesn't do trick-taking games, and I've been saying for years that I don't do trick-taking games, but I do love The Crew, and I do love Ghosts of Christmas, and I'm more excited about Thrones of Valeria now. Which trick-taking games have you played?
I don't know.
I've been saying I don't like trick-taking games for a long time. I'm curious whether you would like Ghosts of Christmas. I'm curious. Either way, we'll find out another time. But yeah, trick-taking was the weak spot for me. But again, if you buy them as a bundle, it's cheaper, so I got it. And then, I want to show you. Actually, I want to scroll down. So, each game comes with little bundles, little extras, and whatnot. Here we have dice.
So cute.
Here we got the boards.
So excited.
This is final art. Final art for the summer sheets. I think there's non-final art for the winter sheets. But basically different charts you're trying to level up and
It's so
grow.
cute.
Yeah, just rolling dice in the Valeria universe. Then we have the tower defense one, the Siege of Valeria, which is cards and tower defense and stopping the hordes from invading. And then we have the dice. And the extra you got with the dice, with the trick taking, was you got a deck of cards. Look at this art. Look at this beautiful. This is actually from the tricking game.
That's very pretty.
And then there's like a deck of cards designed by the Mitcha that they're going to have. Like a deck of playing cards that you can have.
Cool.
Yeah, either way, that was one of the 2 remaining games that I backed. A safe pick on that one. Then we have Voyages.
Ooh.
Voyages, which is another roll and write. And this is actually a single sheet print at home board game. It's $4 and you basically get... You're using your last pick on this. There's 3 more games. You ever want to see them?
There's 2 more games.
2 more games after this. Maybe it's one of those.
1 more game.
Maybe it's one... Oh, you're right. 1 more game. 1 more game after this. Maybe it's that one.
No, because it's boats and it's paper, and I like these things.
Yeah, it's literally printed on the floor somewhere over here. Yeah, I backed this one. I already have it because it's rolling, right? I already printed it out like as soon as I got it because this was basically an interesting campaign. They weren't selling you a physical game. They were selling you a game that they designed, and this actually was designed of Monumental, actually. I'm a big fan of him. But anyways, this is something Dunstan. Matt Dunstan, I believe. But anyways...
Scroll and look.
I could scroll and look. That's cheating, though. You know how, like, that IMDb thing where you're like, I know the actor and you could look, but you want to figure it out first for yourself, for your own mental satisfaction?
Yes.
That's what I want to do here, okay? And you're ruining it for me.
Oh.
Anyways, and it's not even like it's like lower down. But anyways, Voyages is a game where you get, there's a few different ones. I think maybe one of them is in development, I can't remember, but I have some of them or whatever it is, and they're different maps, and you draw lines on the board as you try to navigate around this sheet, and you're trying to build your, pathway and get your stuff more efficiently than other players. But it's basically £4 for the game, and then you get it, and then you can do what you want with it. The good news is we have a laminator, so if we like it, we can then laminate some sheets, and it will be more pristine instead of just constantly printing it out every single time.
I think you also need a color printer.
Well, I have color printed pages.
You do?
I have a printer at work. Yeah, so I got those. Yes, we'll get a color printer at some point. I need to for the prototypes. I print out stuff in black and white. Either way, that is getting sidetracked. But Voyages, I definitely did back this, which unfortunately does mean that the last one is Weather Machine by Vital Lacerda, and I...
You're so cute! You didn't back it.
I didn't back it, but they are cute. They're adorable little meeples. But Weather Machine, Vital Lacerda, I have a bunch of Vital Lacerda games. I have Lisboa, and I have Weather Machine. I have the Gallerist. That's the same position as the Gallerist, which I know you want to play. I know you want to play. But anyways, I have only played Lisboa so far, and I like Lisboa quite a bit, but not enough to back Weather Machine because it's an expensive game. It's $130 to get the game. You can always get it later without the Kickstarter extras, or wait for the next campaign to get the extras. I think this is probably a phenomenal game, but I have 2 other Lacerda games I haven't played, so I don't feel the need to jump in on this one. Definitely not yet. Very intrigued by it. Hope to play it at some point. Just not today. But that is basically it. We have all of those, which means we're down to the... If I can only back 3 of these, which would I have backed?
Valeria.
Yeah.
Resurgence.
Yeah.
Borderlands.
Good choice, but no. I said I should have had self-control there.
Shh. Let me think.
Oh yeah, we go to the Borderlands. We have Borderlands. Then we have what's called Skyrim. We had what is this? This is the Hegemony. Didn't back that one. Then we had did not back Heroes of the Shire. Then we had did not back Harakiri. We have Megapulse. We have
Megapulse.
Nope.
No.
Nope. We had the trio of nano games. We had 9 Minute Kingdom. We had the Realm of Shadows.
You did not back that one.
I did back this one.
So this one.
This one. Realm of Shadows. And I did go back and forth with my third pick between the easy ones were Resurgence. Well, first of all, what is my number 1 pick? Resurgence. Although it's hard because Valeria's a tough one too but Resurgence was amazing and Valeria's more the promise of something I like and I have to go with what I know I like first. So Resurgence would be my number 1 pick. But as far as Valeria is an easy number 2 pick, and my number 3 pick, I did go back and forth between Realm of Shadows and 9 Minute Kingdoms. 9 Minute Kingdoms I am intrigued by, and I think it'll be almost certainly a winner. But the Realm of Shadows is like 3 different games, and that might be a winner, and they're both systems I haven't played. Ultimately, I chose Realm of Shadows if I had to pick a 3rd game, and only a 3rd game. But that is it. These are the 19 games. You got a lot right this time. Finding out and tracking is actually probably helpful, and also me not knowing enough about the games I didn't back. I'll have to do some research to throw you off next time. All I need is 1 at the beginning. I just need 1 at the beginning.
I got the first one wrong.
I know, but I need 1 at the beginning where I really know all the details. And then you're like, okay, you totally backed that one. And I'm like, no. And that'll throw you off your whole game, and you'll be off kilter the whole thing, and I'll be fine. Yeah. I don't know why I want you to lose. There's something wrong here. Anyways, I am Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co.
I am Rena.
This is what we backed in December, and as always, have a good one.